You respond to an ad. When you see the ad, you're scrolling. You respond to the ad, and it's about funding. And the first question you ask is, how much money can I get? You haven't told the funder what type of funding you're looking for. Are you looking for a loan? You're looking for zero interest? Do you need to fund a line of credit? You also haven't mentioned what you're doing with the funding. Do you want to buy a vehicle? Are you doing a fix and flip? Are you buying an office building? Right? The worst thing you could do is just ask blindly, how much can I get? You always want to ask, what can you qualify for? And the answer to that is you can get as much as you qualify for. The follow-up question to that is, well, how do I qualify? What are the things that you are looking at in order to get me funding? Well, that's the question you want to ask, because that's how you actually end up getting the funding. It's easy to get funding when you have great credit and great income. It's hard to get credit when you don't. And by credit, I mean credit cards, loans, lines of credit. The question isn't how much do I qualify for? It's how can I qualify? What are the factors that this particular lender is looking for in order to qualify me for funding? This is important because there's multiple ways to get funding. Yes, can you get up to $250,000 zero interest? Yeah, if you're properly structured. Your personal credit needs to be properly structured, and your business needs to be properly structured so that you can get that 250,000, right? If you have an older business, you can then level up. If you have tax returns, now we're talking about over 250,000. Now you may be able to go and get 300. If you and your business has tax returns, now we're looking at 400, right? If you have assets, so maybe you have equipment that you can use as collateral, now we're on to the next level. Maybe you have some real estate that you can use. Maybe you're a developer, you have land, you have homes that you can put up. Now we're at an even higher level, right? $500,000 in funding. The thing is, all of these different levels of funding are possible. You have to know the requirements, right? It's not as simple as, I just had a phone call earlier today. Gentleman picked up the phone. He said, hey, yeah, how much can I qualify for? I don't even know what type of business you have. What business do you have? Right? What's your credit score? Here are some questions that the average lender is going to want to know, right? And I'll give you guys this, so you want to know, you need to have these questions already answered before you go to funding, and makes your life a hell of a lot easier. What's your credit score? That's the first one. How much money are you making? That's either annually and monthly. How much money are you making? Do you have anything of value that you can use as collateral? Now, depending on how specific your funding needs are, so for instance, let's say you need equipment. What equipment are you financing? Is it a truck? Is it an automobile, a dump truck, a cargo van, a trailer? What type of equipment are you financing? Is it expensive office equipment? Are you purchasing blow up uh, homes for, like, if you have a party planning or event business? What type of equipment are you looking for? Because that will play a part in the type of lending, right? If you're looking to purchase large trucks, like 3 or 4 dump trucks, then that may be an equipment loan, which is different than if you just want zero interest financing. Can you get zero interest financing to buy equipment? Absolutely. But if your personal credit is under a 680, then you may not qualify for zero interest funding, but you may qualify for equipment lending with the 660 because that equipment can also become the collateral. Even on the, you see this on the personal side, it's a lot easier to get. There's a reason why they'll give you a loan for a $300,000 house before you get a loan for before you get a unsecured personal loan for $50,000. Likewise, it's easier to get that unsecured $50,000 personal loan after you get a $350,000 house. The reason is because now that you have the real estate, you have something of value. You have collateral where if you needed to, you could tap into the equity and pay off that $50,000 personal loan. These are some things like I'm sharing this because it helps when we're going for funding that we start thinking like the lender. And I know it's a hard thing to do because, when you're going for money, you just feel like you want the money. And I get it. Part of getting access to the capital is understanding what that company is looking for. So going back, other types of funding, right? Let's say you want an SBA loan. You need $400,000 to purchase a franchise or business. You're going to want to know specific details about what it is that you're buying, right? If you're looking to buy a franchise, well, how much is it going to cost? Are there closing costs? What are the franchise fees? What are the initial fees, right? What's the time frame for the build out of the facility? Details of what the financing is actually going to be used for. They will want to know that because the more money that you ask for, the more nosy they're going to be about it. Just saying that, like, nobody's giving out 400,000, $500,000 without knowing what the money is going to be for. Nobody's doing that. If I have 400,000, I absolutely need to know exactly what the hell this money is going to be for, what the timeline is, and what my return is. Same thing with you. I'm sure if you were giving anybody just $10,000, you'd be like, why am I giving you $10,000? How long is it going to take you to pay me back? And what guarantee do I have that you're going to pay me back? Is no different than anyone else, right? It's the same exact thing. The reason I'm doing this because I have a lot of consultations and a lot of folks are like, "Oh, I need money for my business." Okay, cool. What's your personal credit? Well, it's low. Okay, fine. No problem. What about your business? Is it cash flowing? No. So you have a business, you're not making any money. Okay, cool. So you're looking for startup capital from a bank, but even your personal credit isn't in order. So now we're between a rock and a hard place, or you can go out and you could definitely just partner with people. But now you're exposing yourself to a greater risk because now you got to deal with partners. You have to vet your partner. Hopefully, you and your partner like each other, right? They don't try to backdoor you, backstab you, or get extra monies or mess up the deal, right? So now you have the whole headache of these partnerships that may or may not work out. Some people have amazing partnerships, some people don't. There's this old saying, when experience meets money, the money leaves with the experience and the experience leaves with the money. So some people, a partnership isn't always good. If you have good credit, you know for a fact that you can fund yourself. You can easily fund yourself $200,000 simply by having a good credit report. But for some reason, people run away and shy away from just fixing their credit. To me, and this could be me because I'm an introvert. You know what I'm saying? I am an introvert. I'd rather just fix my credit and then I don't even got to partner with nobody. Like I can get my own 150, 200,000 for me, for myself, by myself. All I gotta do, I got good credit. I can show good income, or at least put good income on my stated income, and bam, $30,000, 50,000, right? Um, there are some folks who literally are allowing 6 to 12 months to keep 6 to 12 months of credit repair is keeping some folks from $30,000. I spoke to a client who wants to create a development center or launch a development center. No, I'm sorry. That was, I did speak to someone with a development center. They want to start one in Bowie. Speaking to another person who wants to expand a t-shirt brand. All they want is $15,000. That's it. Lending or getting access to $15,000 is not hard. That's one credit card. But she had a 580. So now when we don't have prime credit, and it doesn't have to be perfect, you can get a 680, a 700. It's not that hard to get a 700 credit score. There are teenagers with 700 credit scores, right? It's easy. I'm telling you, super easy. We got videos on here on this free internet, YouTube University, that'll help you fix your credit, right? But she had a 580 and she just needed $15,000. $15,000 is not hard to get from a bank as long as you qualify for it. All you would like to get a $15,000 credit card, you can get a $15,000 credit card with a 695 and a 710 credit score. That's not hard to do, right? Brian, I don't know. I didn't run through all of her personal finances and how she was managing her money. But the fact that, and the other thing is that she was older. So in our community, there's a lot of older folks who are still afraid of credit. They're still afraid of credit. They still just don't want to do the work to fix their credit. And I speak to a lot of business owners who are like literally just afraid of that. They rather go out, get a partner. Great. Hey, great. But now you're relying on that partner. If that partner does something to mess up their credit, you're in the same boat. Then you got to go find someone else. Why do all that? Typically, but not always, especially, and that's a difference too. I used to think that that's when I was just a 9 to 5 employee, but now as a business owner, poor credit means that something went wrong in your business. Could have been poor money management, maybe. Could have been you got screwed over by one of your partners. Could have been that you did invest into something that should have been a home run, something that should have been a home run, but guess what? It wasn't. You thought you were going to make, a 50% return on your money when you were doing your fix and flip, but a pipe burst. And now this fix and flip has just turned into a money pit and you can't even sell it for a profit. And now you got to keep using your own credit to complete the project of a fix and flip, right? Or you started a business and basically sales just tanked because of the change in the economy. So now because of the sales tanking, you're not able to keep up with your bills, right? And that can happen with or without good money management skills. So it's not always a money management thing, just having poor credit. Now, if you work a 9 to 5 and you get a paycheck every single week, and let's say you make about 70,000 a year and above, that could potentially be a sign of poor money management, or it can be emotional trauma, or you can have a mental illness, right? There are plenty of people with mental illness that have a shit ton of money. I used to work in probate. I've met them. Well, if you're an entrepreneur or an investor, like Getting a second job, working that project to get the house fixed is the second job. But if you never went through the process of fixing up a house, then it's not going to resonate. So it's all good, right? And then getting a second job, you know, maybe not. It depends. Like a pipe bursting or damage to your house is thousands of dollars, depending on how much it is, how much damage was done, right? So it's not always just, oh, get a second job. Um, but anyway, going back to being able to qualify for funding, okay? There's three things that we're always looking at when it comes to funding. Always looking at your credit, looking at your cash flow, looking at collateral. Credit is just that. What's your credit score? Both on the personal side and the business side. Cash flow on the personal side, that's your income, right? What type of income do you make? Luckily, we have programs called no doc programs or stated income programs. The great thing is that with stated income programs, they don't verify your income. You just have to know what your income is or what your projected income is, or you can put your household income. So if you only make $50,000 as an individual, but let's say you have an adult child that's working and they make 60 and you're married and they make 50, the household income is 160,000. So it's not you're not lying on your application if you say as a household we generate $160,000 a year, right? So this is these type of things that allow you to qualify for different loans. The other thing is that if you're not going to work with a loan officer or a broker or someone who will do the research for you, like myself, you'll have to research the actual lender. You'll have to ask them the questions on whether it or how you can qualify, right? What's your criteria? Like recently, I helped a couple of clients get some equipment financing. Each lender has their own stipulations on like the vehicle, right? It can only have 85,000 miles, or it can only be a certain up to a certain age, things of that nature, right? Sometimes you have to do what you have to do. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that that's the answer, right? Like getting a second job isn't always the answer. It's not. Making more money, sure, but is it going to be a second job? Maybe, maybe not. Um, it would actually have to be something that will benefit and be a profit for that particular situation. But there are different requirements based on the type of vehicle you want to buy and that lender. You can always call a lender and ask them what their criteria are for a product. Like that's literally one of the things that I do when building new relationships with lenders. That's how and why I'm able to help people get the funding that they're searching for their particular project or endeavor. One of the things that's important is understanding your project and endeavor, right? Some people are just like, oh, I saw it on the internet, I get $100,000. Cool, great. What are you going to put on the application though? What type of business do you have, right? Oh, I do fix and flip. Great. Banks are not fix and flip friendly because it's high risk. So you have to know that you don't want to put that you're a real estate investor on your application because you're not going to get as much money. They may not give you any money because they're like, oh, that's high risk, right? When I had a credit repair company, I got denied multiple bank accounts just because at that time I didn't know about the risk factor, right? They were like, oh, you do credit repair? Oh, no, we don't work with that company, so we won't even give you a bank account. Easy fix though. I can just change what I do. I don't do credit repair anymore. I help people in personal finance. I do counseling, coaching, right? Do I still know how to fix credit? Absolutely. Of course I do. So when shit hit the fan on my credit report, I can fix it. It's a great skill to have. If you know how to fix your credit, then that is literally a skill that you can take with you anywhere in America. You could take that skill with you anywhere in the world and then just service people in America, right? Nobody, because no one else, no other country has credit the way we do. You can create credit, you can build up your credit report, destroy your credit, and rebuild it as many times as you deem necessary. It's a game, right? And it's nothing more than a report card. I had an 8. I'm going on a tangent, but I'm saying all these different things ultimately because like fixing your personal credit is the easiest thing you can do to get access to capital. To me, is easier than trying to find a reliable, trustworthy partner for the business, right? Especially if you're looking for a partner specifically for funding. On the flip side, if you have good credit, that's an amazing way to make some side money. You can be a credit partner for business owners, meaning you can literally become a managing member of the company, go into the bank, apply for credit on behalf of the company, and then get a percentage of how much you're approved for. So now you're making, whatever percentage you decide, 5%, 7%, 15%, whatever, from being a credit partner for other business owners that have bad credit. And even if you mess up your credit, you can just fix it again, right? You can always fix your credit. We don't have to be stuck with bad credit for the rest of our lives. I know folks who've had bad credit, for over 10 years. Negative items fall off of your credit report after 7 years. So literally, if you are like, you don't feel like learning how to fix your credit, if you're like, you don't want to pay anybody how to fix your credit, cool. You don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is just pay your bills on time for the rest of your life, or at least for the next 7 years, and your credit's going to be wiped clean. It's very easy. For some reason, we feel like fixing credit is this amorphous thing. It's so hard to grasp. It's literally pay your bill by the due date every month. Now, if we're unable to pay our bills by the due date every month, then we need to, like Brian, like you said, let's look into generating more income. That's one of the things I speak to my clients who are entrepreneurs. I'm like, hey, what's up with the business? Oh, I haven't even started selling anything yet. Okay, so, how are you going to make money? What are we doing? Because one of the 3 C's when it comes to lending is how much money is this business going to make? Banks want to lend to people or organizations that can pay them back. They are not charities. They are not charity organizations. And even charities want to know what's going to be their return on investment, because a grant is an investment into your business. These businesses want to give grants to organizations that they can then show, hey, we gave $50,000 to this organization and they were able to, I don't know, house or clothe, 500 people with the money that they gave them. Everyone wants a return on their money somehow, whether they're able to brag about it, whether they're able to put their seal of approval and say, hey, you see that person over there doing amazing things? That's because we gave them money. There's always a reason, right? These are not handouts. Credit is not a handout. The idea is to get the money, pay the money back. Get the money, pay the money back. That's how you scale that up to those higher credit limits. The banks aren't just giving out $300,000 to anybody. Absolutely not. We want to know how to qualify for it. And it may not be a quick process. It may be a couple of months, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months. But if it takes 6 months to get access to $250,000, is that really a L? Is that really a L? Because if you do that twice, that's $500,000 in a year, all because you took the time and was patient enough to build up your credit, build up your business credit, generate cash flow, and know where to apply. Like that's it. Because no matter how much credit you get, you're gonna have to pay it back at some point. At some point, in some way, right? We're going back. So I'm telling y'all, like they say, real estate is the key to wealth. It's one of the keys. Every multimillionaire has real estate. Absolutely. When you are starting off in your business, like you don't have to bootstrap it. If you're not a tech startup, right, and you don't know how to raise money and find venture capitalists and all of that, then the next best thing you could do is just have good credit. Like not being having a small business and being like, I can't even get a $15,000 credit card is crazy. Like all you need is $15,000 and you can't access that solely because you have bad credit. Well, just fix your credit. It don't take that long to fix your credit. Depending on what your credit is or what's on your credit or the tactics and how aggressive you are, you can fix your credit in 6 months. Like your credit can be absolute garbage with a bankruptcy on it, and you can get all of it clean in 6 months. And now in 6 months, you qualify for $15,000 that you said was the key to keeping your business alive. You said, oh man, if I just got this printing press for my t-shirt brand, I would be able to double my income. Is 6 months of fixing your credit not worth doubling your income? I don't know. I mean, I'll fix my credit. I do fix my credit every time I mess it up. It's a thing. You can mess up your credit and then fix it. Every millionaire, not every, but what? I think, what's the statistic? I think 50% of millionaires went bankrupt one time, at least once, or they were on the brink of bankruptcy. You don't have to allow those, financial downfalls, those missteps to be the end of you, right? Is is one of the reasons that those people that reach those heights have been able to reach those heights. They learn how to overcome those mishaps. They're constantly investing into the knowledge that can help them overcome those mishaps. They're learning new strategies. They're partnering with new people, right? If you mess up and you ruin your credit, it does feel bad. We take pride in our good credit. It sucks, but it's not the end of you. You don't have to let having bad credit linger. You don't have to have bad credit for 20 years. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, just fix it. Just build it. Some of y'all don't even need to fix your credit. You just don't have any. And you don't take the time to just learn how to build it. It's easy. It's easy to build credit. It's so easy. You just get a self loan. Self loan. You get self, you get Credit Strong, you get Boom Pay if you rent, you get a secured credit card, you get a Navy pledge loan. Boom, you get those for 6 months. After 6 months, you get a Discover card, you get a Capital One card, you get a Chase Rise card. Boom. Right? Keep those accounts, build those accounts, ask for credit limit increases every 6 months. After a year, go into Amex. After a year, your Chase Rise card is going to graduate into a Chase Freedom card. Now you're in the quote unquote prime category of your credit, right? Build that up again, build that up a little more until you're at like a 710, right? Get a $5,000 or $10,000 credit card. Where do you go to get a $5,000 or $10,000 credit card, Jamal? Simple. You can go to a credit union. Credit unions will give you high credit limits. You get two of those. Now we're in position where we can start getting some business funding. It may take a year. So what? The year's going to go by anyway. The year is literally going to go by anyway. And that's on the personal side. While you're doing that on the personal side, you can also be doing something on the business side. And yes, all of this requires you to be making money while doing this, because all of this takes some money. Building business credit is not free. Everyone is hitting me up recently. Oh man, what about business credit? Yeah, absolutely. Let's build it. Let's build business credit. Let's do it. You got to pay them on time too. Because if you don't pay them on time, you are also going to mess up your business credit. And if you mess up your business credit, it's the same thing as the personal credit. You're going to have to start from scratch. You're going to have to start from scratch, or you'll have to buy a new business, right? Spend another, what, 5, 10, 12, $20,000 on buying another Age Corp. You got to fund that Age Corp, rebuild that one from scratch, start the process all over again. Now, if you want to do that and you have the money to continually starting from scratch over and over and over again, knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. But if not, build it up once and keep it. And if investments go wrong, if something tragic happens, like for those who were in the '08 crash, or you were in the restaurant industry when COVID happened, there's some shit that's going to wipe you out and you can't foresee it coming, right? That's why, Brian, when you mention money management skills, it's not always money management. It's literally like you got in a car accident and you was in a coma for 7 months and you can't pay your bills while you're in a coma, right? It's not always poor money management that keeps you from maintaining good credit. Like, other shit happens to us. But again, is not the end of you or your life or the goals that you set for yourself. You can always fix the credit. Always. You can always fix it. It's just we have to, it's in our best interest to stop being afraid to fix it. I don't know why everybody's so afraid to fix their credit. I don't know why it's some big deal. It's, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, just fix it. Pay somebody to fix it. Fix it yourself. If you don't want to pay anybody, if you don't want to fix it yourself, I'm on a call right now. If you don't want to do that, then just pay your bills on time. Everything on your credit report falls off within 7 years. Negative items. This is based on the law, everybody. Negative items on your credit report can only stay on your credit report for 7 years. That is it. Okay? That is it. So you're talking about you had bad credit all your life. You need to make a change. That's it. We just got to change it. Right? We're out here not paying people back, but then we want funding. We're out here mismanaging our money, but then we want funding. Everyone got this cousin, right? Everyone got the cousin who always borrowing money. Always got the cousin who's always borrowing money, never paying nobody back. You probably lent that cousin some money and they ain't pay you back, right? Maybe they got you that first time. Maybe they got you twice. But after that second time, you probably not going to give them no money no more. Banks are the same exact way. Just like with your family. You be like, oh, cousin, Peanut, man, don't give Peanut no goddamn money. That nigga ain't never gonna pay you back. Don't give Peanut no money. That nigga don't pay nobody back ever. Banks are the same way. What? That's what a credit report is. A credit report is them telling each other about you, about us. They're like, oh yeah, Jamal, he owes me 20,000. He ain't never paid that thing back. I'm gonna let everybody know, whether you want them to know or not. Right? These are basic things. Super basic. You want $250,000 in zero interest funding, whether it's personal or business, we need to have a 720. I got a 580. What can I get away? Away from this credit, right? Go fix it. Take some time to yourself. What they say, focus on yourself, king, focus on yourself, queen. We're doing all this internal healing, but we don't take the time to heal ourselves in other ways. We don't take the time to do financial healing. It's okay to learn how to manage your money. It's okay to learn how to fix your credit. The more we know about credit and how to use it to our advantage and even repair it, the more self sustainable we are, the more independent we can be, the more confident we can be in the risk that we take. I'm not saying being reckless, but you could be confident that if something goes wrong, you mess up your credit, you know how to fix it, or you know somebody who knows how to fix it. If you're an entrepreneur, especially if you're a real estate investor or something where it's very possible that at some point your credit's going to get messed up, it's important to have somebody in your pocket that can help you fix your credit, that knows how to fix your credit, right? If you're an entrepreneur, even if you have great credit, even if you have amazing cash flow, it's still important to have somebody who knows and understands credit and knows how to get access to capital whenever you need it. Apple is a $3 trillion company. They're one of the largest companies on the planet, and they're insanely profitable. Even Apple carries $100 billion worth of debt. And I think they are currently they have the largest market cap. Somebody correct me. I forgot. They either have the largest market cap right now or they're top three. Largest market cap on the stock market. And they still have $100 billion worth of debt. Still. If they're comfortable with understanding how to manage debt, use credit, use other people's money to grow their business, why aren't we trying to get comfortable doing the same thing? Like, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We literally can just do what the biggest companies on the planet are doing. They turned $100 billion into $3 trillion. And yet we're afraid to get a $10,000 credit card. Having the $10,000 credit card itself does nothing to put you in debt. That doesn't put you in debt. Using the $10,000 credit card with no intention to pay it off puts you in debt. Spending more than what you make puts you in debt. You can be in debt without having a credit card. Before I knew how to use credit cards, I would overdraft. And what happens when you overdraft? Your account goes into the negative. And once your account is in the negative, you technically are in debt. It doesn't take a credit card to get you in debt. You can absolutely just overspend and get yourself into debt, right? So why not get comfortable with using a credit card? Yeah, sorry, Antonio. That's no, man. That's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. There are nonprofits, okay, my brother. There are nonprofits that help veterans improve their credit. Like, there's no reason to have bad credit in 9 years and not be able to raise it. Now, unless you, I don't know, maybe you're at an 800. Like, if you're at an 800, you don't really need to raise your credit. You maxed out. Like, yeah, you can get an 850, but 850 is just vanity, right? But all the information to raise your credit is here on the internet. You just have to follow the steps and just do it. You have to follow the steps. There are nonprofits specifically for veterans that help veterans improve their financial situation. That includes repairing credit. You can pay somebody to repair your credit. Like this, like 9 years of that, no. There's no reason, especially if you don't have a bankruptcy. If you don't have a bankruptcy, you haven't been able to fix your credit, then there's something going on with the money, how the money is moving. Because to have good credit, all you have to do is pay your bills on time. I was a government employee making $62,000 a year with with 18 credit score, right? So, okay, you're a PR in the hospital. Okay. Appreciate you. Thank you for your service. But yeah, even building up your credit, it only takes 6 to 12 months to build up credit. That's it. There are people in prison and who build up their credit from prison. You can build up your credit. If a person can build up your credit from prison, they don't even have access to the outside world. They don't even have bank accounts, but they can still get there. I know people who, some of my friends who build credit for other people. Antonio, you can pay somebody to build your credit for you. You give them financial power of attorney and they'll build your credit for you. Like, there's so many ways to build credit. It's not impossible. It's not hard. If you can't physically do it yourself, pay somebody to do it. Or find somebody within the family that you trust that knows how to do it, give them financial power of attorney, and have them build your credit for you. There's always a way. There's always a way to build credit. Always. It's the easiest thing we could do, especially when it comes to get access to capital. You don't have to network with people to build up your credit. You don't have to go to any masterminds to build up your credit. You don't have to be rich to build up your credit. You don't have to learn how to sell to build up your credit. You don't need to learn marketing to build up your credit. You don't need to do any of that to build up your credit. You only need to know how to, what's the due date? Okay, cool. That's the due date. I'm going to pay the bill on that due date. That's all you need to do. That's it. It's the only thing that's required to build up credit. You can do one account at a time, three account at a time. I started off with one account just like everybody else. One Bank of America credit card. It was $5,000. I maxed it out and I never paid that joint off. I didn't know. They gave me a credit card at 18 years old. So, I bought some rims, bought some J's, put a system on the car, put some tents on that joint. It was free money. I ain't know no better. Never paid that joint back. Wasn't until my credit suddenly disappeared that I got obsessed with it. I went from having zero credit, none, because they marked me as deceased after I left the hospital, by the way. So, yes, I went to the hospital. Something happened. I thought workman's comp was going to cover it. They didn't. And then I got marked deceased. Don't know how. Took me 8 months to go from having no credit to having an 815 credit score. So, like, it only took me 8 months to do that. So, absolutely not having credit for 9 years. Nah, you can have credit. Like, it don't take 9 years. I know that because I've done it. Um, and it's these simple things that are just keeping us. Because once you have good credit, money is cheaper. If you're a person, right? You can. That's how you build. Even with business credit, you still start from zero with a business. You're still starting from zero. So you're either gonna you build up your personal credit and you build up your business credit. I've built both from nothing. Nothing. And I learned how to build both from nothing in a year. 1 year, 12 months. So this idea of it don't take 9 years, my boy. It don't. It don't. You can't tell me it do, because it don't. I sat right here on YouTube every day after I came home from work and I built up my credit. I fixed it. I built it using YouTube. That's one of the reasons why I come on here. And today I'm rambling, but I have over 400 videos specifically talking about credit, talking about how to get funding. 400 videos. Some are shorts, some are long. So to be like, 9 years I wasn't able to build credit, that means like, I don't know what else you got going on, right? Hospital, things of that nature, right? It's a lot of unknown unknowns. But I promise you, you can build credit within a year from not having any. I was marked as deceased. They killed me off. Didn't figure that out until I got my credit report. It took me a month to learn how to order a credit report. A month, a whole 30 days to figure out how to get one. And then I just kept studying. I just became obsessed with it. Paid off some debt, learned how to structure a credit report, learned how to structure my business. I got 200 within from the time they marked me as deceased, like a year and a half from the time they marked me as deceased, and I didn't have any credit score whatsoever. I had reached an 815 credit score. I had reached $165,000 in credit. I had paid off $25,000 in debt. And I a built up my business credit with a Paydex 80 score. Did this while only making $62,000 a year. Not a multimillionaire, not seven-figure earner, not a six-figure earner, a five-figure government worker, $62,000 a year, 815 credit score, over $160,000. By the time I quit my job, I had $200,000 in available credit, both on the personal and on the business side. I had a Paydex 80 score while only making $62,000 a year. Don't let the internet fool you. You don't need a Lambo to have six figures in funding. You don't need a McLaren to build up business credit. You can be a regular 9 to 5 person who just learn how the credit system work and master it. You can have both business credit and personal credit in 12 months. I talk about this on my channel. Every video is only about business credit and personal credit. That's the only thing I care about. Cool. Congratulations on a family business, right? Even if you're international, you can build up credit without a social security number. You can build up your credit as with a ITIN, an international tax identification number. You can you can build up business credit with an ITIN. Business credit with having a security number. Like again, it you can like everything you said, boom. I got because I study this what I do. You don't need to be you can have an ITIN. You can have an EIN number to build credit in America. You can build up your business credit. You know what I mean? There's a solution for everything. You can there's a solution for everything. So we can use these different things. But at the end of the day, it's just not enough to invest the time, energy, or money into it. People, you're either going to spend your time or you're going to spend your money. And typically, you spend the thing that is least valuable to you. So if improving your credit was a priority, you would spend one or the other on that endeavor. If you haven't spent either one, then that means improving your credit hasn't been a priority for you. That's it. And that's fine. That's fine. Right? But if you haven't taken the time to try and fix it, if you haven't spent any money on trying to fix it, then you just don't want to fix it. And that's cool. I know a lot of people, they're just like, they don't want to fix it for whatever reason. But understand that you're missing out on opportunities and you're just making the life of getting access to capital that much harder for yourself for no apparent reason. There's no reason not to fix your credit. It takes time. Time is going to pass anyway. Whether you fix it or not, time is still going to pass. It's still going to go from September to December. It's still going to pass. Either way. So why not take time to work on something that's going to benefit you in the long run? Credit is with you, well, in America, credit is with you forever. Everyone, every time you want to buy a car, they're checking your credit. You want to buy a house, they're checking your credit. You want car insurance, they're checking your credit. You want a job, some jobs, they're checking your credit. You want a top secret security clearance or secret or a what is it? Not top, a top secret or a certain level of security clearance, they're checking your credit. I've helped people who literally hit me up because they're going for their top secret security clearance and their credit came up. They're like, hey, you filed a bankruptcy 7 years ago. What's up with that? That's a whole niche. There's a whole niche of people where all they do is fix people credit so that they can get a security clearance. Like, it's more than just getting access to the capital, right? That's one thing, but fixing your credit, there's no reason that like everyone needs to be doing it. Everyone needs to go through it. If it takes you longer than a year, so what? You're going to have it. You're going to have your credit for the rest of your life. Take a year, take 2 years to build it. You can build business credit in 6 months. You can get funding for your business. You get vendor funding. You can get financial trade lines for your business. And you know what I'm saying? It's just time and dedicated effort and knowing the steps to take and which way to take them. If you don't want to sit and watch 400 videos, buy a book that tells you how to do it. There are tons of books. I got books. They're on the channel. The links are there. You can always check out any of the links. If you want clarity, speak to somebody who knows how to do it. There are nonprofits. Like, if you don't have any money or if you just don't want to spend the money on it, go with a nonprofit. I mean, I do coaching. I help people. I do credit counseling. I am not a nonprofit. There is a cost to it. But you can go to a nonprofit. There are a lot of nonprofits out here. They're slower. You may not get that one-to-one care that you're looking for because it's a nonprofit. Everyone's looking for free information, but it's available to you. This is the absolute basic stuff. Talking to a business owner that has an amazing business, but they can't get $10,000 just because they haven't fixed their credit is like, it's crazy. It's baffling. And then they're like, well, nobody's wants to invest into my business. Invest in yourself. You don't even want to invest in yourself and just fix your credit. $10,000, that's one credit card. You can get one credit card for $10,000 easily. All you need is a 700 credit score. 3 trade lines, 3 personal accounts, right? Go to Navy Federal, go to NASA Federal Credit Union. Go to Digital Credit Union. Go to Suncoast Credit Union. Any of these credit unions out here, whatever one's local to you, will give you a $10,000 credit card. And if that's all you needed to start your business, then it sounds like you're in business right now. But you got to do the basics. It's too many of us not getting access to capital solely because we're not doing the basics. Do the basics. I had a client who got denied a $60,000 equipment loan because he didn't have a business bank account. A business bank account kept him from $60,000. That's basic stuff. We shouldn't be allowing the basics to keep us from getting the bag. Get your personal credit right. Make sure your business is registered with the state and it's in good standing. Make sure you have a business bank account. Make sure you have a payment processor, aka a merchant account. Those are the four things you need to start your business funding journey. The absolute basics. If you don't have all four of these things, you are immediately missing out on at least $50,000 in funding. At least. Simply because you don't have one of these four things. You're missing out. I mean, having good credit by itself is worth $300,000. And that's in cash. That's without buying a house. Because if you have good credit, you can buy a $400,000 house. So think about that. Now having a 720 credit score is probably costing you $400,000 at least. As a W-2 employee, only earning 600, no, not 600, only earning $62,000, I got access to over $200,000 in credit. You don't have to be rich to get access to credit. That's why credit is the ultimate cheat code, but people keep running away from it. How do these people get ahead? They use other people's money. Either they're getting partners and getting access to other people's money, they're getting investors, or they're just going out and borrowing the money from the banks. The banks want to see a good credit report. They want to see a good, clean credit report. And they want to know that you're generating some income. That's it. That is the blueprint. Have a 700 plus credit score. Have 5 years or more of credit. Have 10 trade lines. Have at least 2 of those trade lines worth more than $10,000 and have low inquiries, less than 4 inquiries. Right? Make at least $60,000 a year. You're going to get. That's it. There's no sales pitch. That's what you do. If you cannot do that, or if you need help doing it, get the help. Pay somebody. Go to a seminar. Sign up for a class. Get with someone. Sit on YouTube and watch the videos, y'all. But I want you to achieve the goal. And if the goal is to get access to capital so you can scale your business, easiest thing to do is to fix your credit. The next easiest thing to do is to build up business credit. Simple, 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 simple things. And it doesn't take 9 years to build up either one. Doesn't take 10 years to build up personal credit. Doesn't take 10 years to build up business credit. Either one of these things is built within 6 months. It gets stronger with time. You build it up to the basics within 6 months. You build it up even more as time goes on. So once it's built, your goal is to keep it up. But if you're an entrepreneur, I work with small business owners, we know that as entrepreneurs, shit ain't sweet all the time. Shit ain't sweet all the time. Everything isn't peaches and roses. A hurricane can strike. The market can crash. COVID can happen. You can get sick. You can get seriously injured. Any of these things can happen that can derail your plans and mess you up financially. But you can recover. You can fix it. You can get yourself back up to zero and continue to move up and scale up. It's not impossible. It's hard. It's hard as fuck. FYI, in case anyone is selling the idea that recovering from tragedy is easy, it's not. It's hard as fuck. But it's doable. Difficult, but attainable. Just like most anything else worth having. Difficult, but attainable. Anyway, I've been here. Um, Listen, my name is Jamal. I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself. My name is Jamal, the credit protector. I help small business owners become bankable so that they can get access to capital. If you're already in great position and you're looking for even more capital, let me help you. If you need help restoring your credit, there's a link in the description where you can click, you can sign up, you can repair your credit. It's $150 a month. Let them take care of it. It's $150 a month. If that is too much, guess what? We have an affiliate program to where you refer 4 new clients. Those 4 new clients then pay for your credit repair. If any of that is too much, no problem. You can watch the YouTube channel, soak up the game, implement the game. Or if you need a little bit more guided assistance, a little more structure, grab an ebook. They're $17. Easy peasy. Get yourself on the right track, right? At the end of the day, I want everyone to win. I want to see y'all grow. I want to see y'all scale. And I'll see y'all on the other side. All right? Peace.